as one of a million paths. Un camino entre cantidades de caminos. Therefore, you must always keep in mind that a path is only a path. To have such clarity, you must lead a disciplined life. Only then will you know that any path is only a path.
I'm a warrior from the future, looking at the past, living each moment through life's hourglass. I hold on to nothing, but enjoy everything. I spiral in and out of the Milky Way sacred ring. I carry the blood of my Tata Pancho Villa, y con mi corazón, sueño noche y día. I fly with the eagles and roam with buffaloes. I ride the winds of time, shoot thunderbolt arrows. Aim them at your heart with a masterpiece of art. Look into your mirror, that's where it all starts. The pain of generations is deep within my soul. I burn my white sage in my abalone bowl, and I bless myself, send my prayer to the sky. I never ask why, I never complain. The way of a warrior is to always stay sane. Do away with fear so your mind stays clear. Then you deal with power, but treat her like a flower. Her poison will devour and eat up all your soul. 6 feet deep, buried in a hole. Your ego got too high and you lost control. And if you don't die from your own greed, that's when age and time starts to feed. No one can escape man's true fate. No one has the power to tell death to wait.
Both paths lead nowhere. But one has a heart, the other doesn't. One makes for a joyful journey as long as you follow it. You're one with it. The other will make you curse your life. One makes you strong, the other weakens you.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo.
LA Natives Podcast.
LA Natives Podcast. What up, chat? I know there's just a few of us in there right now, but yeah, here we are again. LA Natives Podcast. We got round 2 for the next season, and I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to share myself with the community in whichever way I can, sharing my perspective, hoping to you kind of inspire our community to look inside themselves and find their true self. And this is why we're here. LA Natives Podcast.
Everyone tuning in, I appreciate you guys checking out our first episode of 2024. Till this minute, it's still getting views. 0. I think we're at over 500 views on that video.
No way,
alone.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You know what? I never look at the next day, or I have not seen one LA Natives podcast. I mean, I get little clips and then I post them, but I've never really sat down and listened or even looked at the views. But I want to do something different, Armando, this time. I want to encourage the crowd, our community, our LA Natives community, our chat, whoever it is. You guys got to help us, man. Like, if you really believe in this message, you need to tag people. You need to tag people that are going to receive this message.
And George, Bugsy, wordless, word first, call in 626-596-1033.
We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your opinion. I mean, I love to talk. Believe me, I love to talk, but no one's more important than the community that's out there. And that's the one thing I want to hammer out there. We are like 2 years deep with Malinali. We are 2 years deep with plant-based Aslan, and we're only getting stronger.
Right. And everyone tuning in right now, they've been to those events.
Yeah. Well, we're creating a community. It's a movement. It's a movement. You know, you were talking to Cholo Lancinco the other day. He mentioned Malinali Superfoods. This is what we're doing, man. No more complaining, no more protesting, no more this, no more that. Let's get out there and fucking start a business that heals people. How about that? How about trying to find something that's going to heal or protect or contribute to the community that you come from? That's what I'm doing. That's been my life. The past 2 years, I'm in East LA, the city I was born in, doing a vegan restaurant, promoting mineralized foods that come from our community, our ancient community, and stop complaining, man. Work on yourself. Work on yourself. And that's the movement. And that's what plant-based Aslan, that's when you go to plant-based Aslan, you're going to meet somebody that's like that. Or someone on the journey to that. because we sell vegan food, and it's important to take control. Not that you should be a vegan, but you got to be very aware about what you eat. If you're going to listen to LA Natives podcast, that's what you're going to get. That's the information. So you guys need to go fucking tag 10 people. Each of you need to tag 10 people you really care about, who you could create a community around. And then let Mondo and me create the events and bring in the revenue so we can go and affect your community. It's like the shift has happened, bro. 2012 passed.
Zero, when was the last time you ate a ribeye steak?
Dude, it had to be like, fuck, like 20 years ago.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah, it was like 20 years ago.
And you don't miss it at all, even though it's surrounded.
No, because look,
surrounding you at the grocery stores, at all these restaurants.
No, I'll tell you why. Because when you try to stop eating meat and you're not replacing it with the minerals that you need to survive, like, and people get really confused when I say minerals, right? They get all confused. They're like, well, what is it? What is minerals? Well, minerals are seeds, roots, and algae. And so when I started ingesting large amounts of minerals, all the craving for colonial food went away. So I really don't enjoy a steak or any of that shrimp or lobster or any of that stuff. Like, to me, it's like, don't get me wrong. There are individuals that feel like, fish or chicken or any meat source is protein. But you got to really think about that. I'm going to challenge that. I'm not going to say it's wrong or right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge it. How fresh is that chicken that you're eating? How fresh is that salmon that you're eating? How fresh is that steak that you're eating? Because you're not going to down the street where they slaughter them, wait a couple days or wait a couple hours until they chop them up and serve it to you. Absolutely not. That's been frozen, packaged, preserved. So then, is it really a protein source? You got to really think about things like that. They're getting you for your taste. That's what people go, oh, ribeye, oh, it tastes so good, right? How long does that taste reaction last in your mouth? It's like milliseconds.
And honestly, bro, I need to stop eating meat too, but let's be real. Throughout my whole life, I don't think I've ever encountered the direct source of where that meat's coming from. If you know what it means.
Yeah,
if anything, I've only had that experience twice. And coincidentally, it was when my parents took me to Michoacan, Mexico, La Ruana.
Now you're talking about
our
real
homeland.
Yeah.
And this is a true story. We were like 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old. We were on the ranch. We had lamb running around, sheep running around. And our evil parents and uncles decided to let us play with one of them for like a day.
No way.
Right?
Yeah.
For us to get, a little closer to this animal, to the sheep or whatever it was,
Right.
A goat. I think it was a goat,
Right.
A baby goat, out of all things. And then the next night, we were gathering around as a family, 50 deep, in the pueblo of Michoacan, La Ruana, you know?
Right.
They decided to grab that sheep and just straight gut it, slaughter it right in front of us. And just we hated our parents ever since then because they took our friend away,
Yeah.
And then within 5 hours, we were eating that same animal.
Right. Well, you got
so in retrospect, I'm like, damn, I'm thankful because I actually saw where that animal came from, and then it was in my stomach.
Right.
Like here in this country, like, bro, there's no way you're even allowed to see the source.
Well, there are a few communities. I remember when I lived in the IE, there was like Fontana and shit like that. They had little ranches, and then you can get like a fresh goat like that. But it's not something that you can source easily, and it's definitely not at Ralph's. It's definitely not at Food for Less. It's definitely not in the places that you're sourcing food. It's just that's
not even natural though, right?
It's not about stop eating meat. It's not about that. It's about doing the research and consistently taking these sources of nutrition. Do the research. That's what I want to challenge. That's why I want the community to tag 10 people that are struggling with weight, struggling with energy, struggling with whatever it is. When you take care of the vessel that was given to you by all the elements, then you get a little bit of footing underneath you. But if we're just going to work, eating, going to sleep, shitting, it's like you got to be able to break out of that loop.
So, of course, there's a whole enterprise behind health and food, right? Like, there's a lot of marketing, there's a lot of advertisers, and just it's a chase to the top, right? So now with the vegan community, I just been seeing it. It's been getting worse and worse and worse when it comes to the competitiveness, when it comes to, you know, who's going to be seen on top, when it comes to like these gurus of the vegan community or these high profile vegan food chains that are popping up out of nowhere. You know, how do you feel about that? Now it's being like extra hyper commercialized, in my opinion, because now I see commercials about it everywhere.
It's really about what your goal is. Like for me, my goal is to be as spiritual, as connected to myself, to my community, to my children. It's surviving genocide. It's coming out of that place using the tools that our ancestors left us. They left us what foods were the most nutritious. Now, yeah, it doesn't happen to be a fucking steak.
Best believe the executives at Beyond Meat do not think that way, right, Zero?
Right. But once you start to mineralize, it really doesn't matter what you eat because you're getting a pure source of nutrition. And once that nutrition is in your body, it's already working. And when it works, you become less hungry. At this point, you could eat whatever you want. If you want to eat meat, go ahead and eat meat. But I don't like how long meat takes to digest. It takes forever. And if you keep compiling that's how you get inflamed stomachs. So I like to keep my system as clean as possible. So I only eat once a day. Every day. But I take minerals in between the morning and noontime. I drink coconut water, I eat fruit, and if I do get hungry, I'll eat a salad. That's still just hydration. So it's not about, I'm going to be vegan, I'm going to be vegetarian, I'm going to eat buffalo and deer. Fine. But what are you doing to eat the most purest form of nutrition that gives fuel to the vessel that creates your reality, which is our body? It's that deep. It's not about taste. It's not about eating style. It's about sourcing what works for you. And for some people, it's wild game. For some people, it's mineral. For some people, it's vegetarian. For me, it's fasting. I control my diet. And that gives me an ability to be alert. I think
we have a guest in the building, yo.
Yo.
Let's go ahead and bring him right in and see if we can work this out.
What's up, brother?
Yo.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Daniel Hawk.
You're silly. Good to be back.
There it is. Got the calendario on the back representing.
Yo.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to
Yo, what's up, brother? It's me, Mondo.
What's up, Armando? How you doing?
Oh, man. It's an honor to have you back, man.
Brother, I can't wait to hear. The chat is lit.
Yeah, brother. Well, you know, this is our second go around on this.
Right.
You know, right. And I think that with the work that we're doing at Malinali, what we're doing with Plant-Based Taslan, we're starting a new community that we're having an event at the Malinali parking lot on February 24th. And it's with our sound system, our reggae sound system called Teocali. And we'll be doing an event on February 24th. So stick to our Malinali page. Stick to follow at Teocali, Teocali. Can you pull that up? At Teocali, Teo.
Is it on your Instagram page?
Yes, I follow them.
Let's go ahead.
Hey, and those events have been really good. I've
We launched our first tea. The idea that we have about these events, I'm sorry, Daniel.
no, go ahead, brother.
I just want to make sure that people are clear about what events we're trying to do here. We're trying to have non-alcoholic events. No alcohol at our events. Because we launched our first event on New Year's, and we called it the Cali Sober New Year's, and it was alcohol free. The one thing I noticed about that event was there was no anxiety. Really, nobody was like over aggressive or over sad or over happy. It was everybody. You were there, Daniel. What was your experience?
Well, I really, I thought it was really neat. I think you're kind of missing something that there was a lot of cannabis there. I think Mary Jane was ever present.
Oh, that's what I meant. Just like Cali Sober, you know.
But I mean, like, agreed. And so the thing is, Ruben, I mean, I myself, who am a true cannabis, I'm Malinali, on the calendar. So I'm La Yerba. Is that when people say, "Oh, I'm cleaning out. I'm not going to do any cannabis, or I'm not going to do weed," I'm like, isn't that kind of like saying, "I'm not going to eat any apples this week. I'm going to go ahead and clean myself out of apples." It's the way the colonizer has you thinking. Because they do tell you everything that's green and organic is good for you. Well, green and organic is good for you. And, you think about plant-based Aztlan, like the whole concept. Even in the old languages, the plants are always considered the helpers, the souls of, the guides, And so when you look at that whole plant life, before this whole experiment happened, our life was in harmony with this place. And, we so much the sun, the earth, the living things around us were really the way we found our harmony, and so that space was just harmony. I mean, there was so many people. Well, there was many people that came, and they were just, I don't know, when you come with an open heart, and it's just a nice place where, I don't know, it just seemed like everyone was just very open. And in myself, I mean, I couldn't believe I saw the sound system guy was my tocayo, and so, man, that touched my heart. I felt like I saw an old brother from another mother,
I love the fact that you're an OG cannabis advocate, and this is like,
oh, you're fun. Thank you, Armando.
And Zero as well. I'm Zero.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are pre-legalization advocate cannabis guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember being influenced, 16, 17, going to El Vu shows, and everyone was smoking bud, bro. and that was a dope hip hop show.
Right. I mean, cannabis helped me. That's all I could say. I mean, there's pros and cons to it. People can agree or disagree. But for me, that was the safest thing recreationally. It was the safest thing medicinally for my emotions. I mean, and I grew it. I had a connection with it. So I'm going to continue to have that connection with it. And I'm going to try to teach our community to be the safest. That's why we have Daniel. We had Daniel there, guiding people on what strains do what.
Yeah, right.
As best as we could. Lots of it was just more smoking, but.
Well, no, you know what, Ruben? I was really, I myself, though, man, I mean, just from just a history of cannabis, I mean, I'm almost embarrassed, man. But when I was younger, oh my God, I was that guy that I wanted the strongest weed that I could to knock everybody out, and like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed even as I share it with you. But, we all evolve from someplace, and
Right.
Oh man. And I remember even in college, I went to Cal Poly, and in the 90s, again, too, it's just part of colonization, man, that I'd sell my cannabis that I grew, and people would come back and say, "Hey, man, I just got to tell you, I thought you laced the weed." I'm like, "What?" Well, like, dude, I smoked it with you. He was like, "Yeah, man, but I was driving home and I had to pull to the side and I had to walk home." I said, "But okay." I said, "Bro, I didn't lace it, right? I smoked it with you." He goes, "Yeah, I know now." I was like, "Okay, well."
Well, here's the thing with plants. This is what I've learned with plants. Plants always bring lessons. And we confuse those lessons with anxiety, or I don't want to think about it, or all those things that come along with our mental health. So just remember that plants will always hit the nerve. You know what I mean? And it doesn't always happen. Sometimes you're happy. Sometimes, you know, like Cali sober, we were all smoking in a social way.
Right.
But plants will always. Sometimes it's so unnoticeable, but it's doing it. You know, you know what I mean? It'll out of nowhere. You'll be like,
Ruben,
oh,
here's the thing.
shit.
I don't think you're. I mean, well, on when it comes to cannabis, me and cannabis is kind of like, I don't know. I'd say like you and beats.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm. I have quite a few strains, and so
Mhm.
when people come, if you just tell me what you want, what your experience is, what what you're into, what. So if you just
And
give me that information, I can pull from the medicine that I have, and just find something, I think is. Well, it wasn't that
And
even.
the cool thing about what you do is you have specific strains that do specific things. Sometimes we go into the dispensaries and people are saying, "Oh, I think it's a hybrid," or "Yeah, this is a sativa," or "This is
Yeah.
a indica." And you know, when I was growing it in my home, when I think it was pre-legalization, it was more about medicinal. And when I was growing in my home, that was a cool thing is getting clones from you because they did specific things. Like, you know what I mean? You knew exactly what it was. It was either a hybrid, it was an indica, or a sativa.
Well,
So
dude, I mean, I gave you the best shit, and as long as you were just somewhat, following, because growing
yeah, but
cannabis
they
is
were
not
very distinct, even in the highs. The highs, the flavor, the
right.
color, all that stuff
Well, I
was
mean,
very distinct.
Ruben, but that to me, like I like to use cannabis like all through the day. I use some in the morning, some in the
Right.
evening, some in the afternoon. It depends on what I'm doing. But I mean, I just, I like cannabis. I've always been, but I mean, I've been using it so long that as you're describing it, like I remember that, those strains that you had,
Yeah.
man, because I'm the type of person that I have a good strain and I'm going to give it out because I want someone to get that so that when I run out, you can have it. I'm a
And
native. I'm a native. So a native sees, nature and I want to share it.
and that's a cool thing. That's why I like having you on, Daniel, because that's what we're trying to bring to our community.
You're funny.
What
Well,
was
Ruben, hold on. Stop,
was
stop, stop.
what was
Because words are very
what
important,
hold
brother.
on,
Let me
hold
say
on,
something
bro.
right now.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
We
bro.
didn't try
Wait,
to bring it to
wait,
the community.
wait.
We brought it to the
Daniel,
community. And so,
Daniel,
you know what I
Daniel,
mean?
Daniel, hold up. I wasn't done, dude.
Oh, sorry, brother. I'd be like, you trying,
Like
like, dude, come on.
what we're doing. If
Yeah.
I misuse a word or
Yeah,
two,
that's what I mean.
please
'Cause,
excuse me.
dude,
I
you know what I
don't.
mean? It's
I'm
like
not
trying to
that
make
literal, but the point is this: whatever information we have to compare it to whatever we have researched for a very long time. You and your 20 years, and me with my 20 years of ceremony, nutrition, and obviously the books that we've written. Now we're trying to just share this with a community that's day oneer
yeah.
to someone who's like you. Not everybody has this thing, so we're pushing it out as best as we can. We're gonna start the workshop series with Daniel at Plant Based Aslan, so he could be more specific about what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And so that's really what I'm trying to say here is that the information that we gather for the community is for you guys. So you guys need to do is tag people on our YouTube or Instagram or get them to LA Natives because you're gonna miss the boat. We're gonna do some cool events. So February 24th, we're gonna do a Teocali event. So keep posted on our Instagram.
Hey, and the
And,
Teocali event is really dope. Like my tocayo Daniel, boy, his sound system is just off the hook. Like,
and
man, you
it's
can feel it
Mexicans,
in your
dude.
heart.
It's Mexicans, bro. It's like Mexicans running a
Well, I mean,
Jamaican
what I
sound
like is that
system.
he's
It's cool.
Teocali. So I mean, like, that's me, man. Look at it. Okay, so we were talking about this before, and you talk about time and knowledge and history, Ruben, and I think that's a thing that I wanted to share with us. I was discussing this today about how okay, I speak English, all right. It's I was born speaking the King's English, and my mother, she speaks Spanish and English, and so I just grew up. And people, when I grew up, I got a lot of teasing, saying, "Oh, damn, you sound white," It's like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's where I grew up, But then one day I looked at my birth certificate and fucking A, man, it says I'm white under my race, anyways, all aside. So when I speak English, Ruben, here where I stand, English has only been spoken here maybe 150 years, 160 years. Now, when I speak Spanish, then I go back in time. I go back another 500 years. So then just by speaking Spanish, I go back in time. But wait, but then I go to Teocalli, Anahuac, El Vu, Malinali, Coscacuautli. Then I'm going back 5,627 years just by speaking a language that's so old that these are concepts and ideas that have been documented by my people here on the planet. But we know because there it is right there. They're showing us, leaving it in stone because they'd already seen the books get burned. Things had already gone and come. But they taught us through darkness and death comes light. And I was tripping out of this, Ruben. Think of the concept that when we're born, it's a sperm, right? The sperm flying. What happens when the sperm hits the egg, Ruben?
Well, they connect, right?
Well, but what happens to the sperm?
It fertilizes it.
But what happens to the sperm?
What do you mean? What happened? I don't know.
It dies.
I see.
It dies. It dies, and something else begins. Two begin, and when those two live, they die, and then the next one's good. Do you understand? So it's like life and death. So you look even at the calendar. There's life and death. There's darkness and light, and so they were teaching us this back in time. And what I tripped out of was that these are protons, neurons, like the basis of life, but they just put it at a micro level. So they understood the things that today people are just, our people had this back in time. So today, if we use that language, we go back in time at a time that's already been through this whole spiral, and so they're working from experience. And just like I've said before, Einstein said it, the only real knowledge is experience. And so when I speak from experience, then I'm speaking from knowledge. You can ask me anything, and if I've lived through it, I can tell you what it was like and how it felt. But if you're living in this age where people are just, I just fake it till I make it. Well, you want to hire that guy to fix your car, to set up your event, to change your tires, fix your brakes? No, you don't want that. And so at some point, the schism's going to fix itself, because those of us that are really living like, we're not too descalipoca, we're not too much in our head, that we're actually living, the life that our ancestors left for us as we begin to speak the language, sing the songs, say the words. I mean, because this is all love. We come from love. Love it's our instrument, it's our impetus.
I agree. When
you look and you see, hey, what's that guy's love? Because I remember last week you showed that guy that was talking about the 8, and this, he was on a podium, and I thought to myself, that person doesn't look like me at all. Look at me and what I have, Ruben. I have melanin. Do you know what melanin is, Ruben?
Right. It's what makes you brown.
Well, it's not only what makes you brown, but it what makes you live in vibration with the sun. And so if I was, say, lighter skinned, if I was vibrating at a correct vibration, the sun wouldn't burn me. It would just make me darker. And so what happens is, if you don't have a lot of melanin, it affects your brain. Like, it would make you think that a person that's running people over with a car is sane. And the person, getting that person out and making them vow to forgive the broken mindset of driving a car over people, you'd understand that. But how does this person without melanin, because the people without melanin, brother, they live in an illusion that's amazing to me. And so, because
it's tyrannical.
How the hell did that guy vibrate at that frequency? But
but it's what?
And who are those people without melanin?
Probably white people or something.
Well, hey, bro, no, hold on.
What I'm saying though,
from Europe, and they have melanin. Like, they can be white, but they tan. But there's people you could tell because they're all red. Like, they turn red, and it's like, I'm just telling you, brother. And you could say that I'm being whatever, but first off,
no.
I'll just explain this. I can't be racist because I'm not in power and I don't have privilege. So that's how racism works: is you need power and you need privilege. Now,
But to
on
make
some
the
level, I
system,
do have power, but I don't have privilege. If that
but to
makes
make
sense.
but to make the system work, one has to be in agreement. So that's what
I don't know about that one, Ruben.
that's what happens with no. What I mean by that is that all white people agree that
Well,
they're
hold on, brother.
better
I
than
never
those.
said white people. I never said that. All I
Well,
said was that the person I saw lacked melanin. And what happens, Ruben, is that I understand, or I do my best to have a conversation with everyone out there on a level that you can understand. Because let me explain this. If you live in an old culture, when you say the white man, most of the time you should know that's the old person. Okay, the old, because what happens when you get old? Your hair, regardless of what color you are, your shit turns white. If you live that long, you will turn white. And so our story's talking about the white man coming. That doesn't mean the guy without melanin. That's not that guy. It's the old man. But they don't say old, they say the white one. Like they say the white covered mountain, it's covered with snow. It's white. It's literally white. If it was someone else, they'd call it pink. But it's not pink. And so that was just trying to explain, because if you go back in time enough, these terms, we don't use terms like that, and it's just interesting because, man, I'm on a tirade, but let me just make these 2 points really simple. In our language of Nahuatl, in our philosophy, in our world, 2 words, concepts don't exist: God and death. 2 mental shit that they throw in this colonized world on you all the time. And so understand, we didn't even have those concepts. So me as a native brother, as I go back and I learn my English and Spanish, I'm back in Nahuatl. I know God got here in 1492. And so when people say, "Oh, God bless you," I'm like, "Ah, cool, yeah, whatever, dude." Or they talk about my cousin Chewy. Jesus loves you. Cool, he loves me, man. But you know what? We as a native person, we're just a seed in the garden of nature. That's all. At the moment that we think that we're greater than everybody else, then we're not native no more.
well, yeah, you're right.
I mean, no, I'm not trying to be right, brother. I'm just saying, as a
And
native, we just
and just so that we're clear, like when we talk about those specifics, right? Like learning Nahuatl or anything, learning the math, learning their astrology,
well, just finding who
whatever
you
it may
are.
be,
You know what I mean? Like having a
whatever
thought in
it
your
may be.
head that's really
I want to add
not made
more.
on TV. You know?
I want to add more to that list because I remember from the early 90s, like 92, we started really getting into this, going to ceremony, going to sweat lodge, all those things. So 92 till now, right? And in the past 10 years, there's another component to all this understanding, right? We want to understand the stars and we want to understand the language, but we're bogged down with beer and meat and sugar and all that stuff affects us. It affects our frequency to even understand the enlightenment of these cultures because in Nahuatl culture, it was very strict. What the parents used to tell their children is do your fasting, and it could be fasting from food, but it could also be fasting from talking. It could be fasting from whatever. There's many elements to it. They're a very disciplined culture. And I'm not saying that that's what we need to be from 0 to 60, but we need to be in that process of taking care of our vessel, right?
Right.
And eating the high mineral foods so that you're able to fast and reflect on these things. This is how we get to these higher levels of understanding because your body becomes the vessel upon which you're experiencing these things that point you into certain directions like stars
So look
and
at Ruben.
whatever the Pleiades is
Ruben,
saying.
I like it. I like what you're saying, but I'm going to add this, Ruben. And so I feel very blessed, man. I was very blessed that I've had a life that was inspired by love. You know, in one of the books I got is the Aztec Virgin, and John Meany writes, man, find those books if you don't know Spanish. He's got the Aztec Virgin and the Day of Destiny, and what he says is that He shows on a page, it's all the tlazos. Tlazos are all the different forms of love that our people had, because you know how I say, the Eskimos have all these different words for snow. Well, fuck. The Nahuas, we had different words for love, all the different types of love. And so,
Mm.
to me, Ruben. I mean, you just know me, man. When I'm doing some shit, it's my love. I do what I love to do, and so most of the time, people can feel that, and they feel that passion of my passion, what I do, and like back to the cannabis. The cannabis is my passion. It's something that really, it's part of when I was born. The energy and the tonal machotlo was for me to get into plants, get into the vulture, which is eating the old things and making the new with Scotscacuautli. And then the deckbot was I'm the knife. So I'm the word. I'm the one that speaks, and so I was blessed because my parents had nurtured me into my energies, and so it just fell that the universe landed me here. And then the Tonal Machotl was always in the house. And so, but my point is that, man, my dad loves what he did. My mother loved what they did. They were in love. And so I was a product of love. And like we were talking today, man, that we're living in a generation that people, they just don't know love, at least the love that I knew. And so I just think that, when people go through trauma, when people are struggling, when any time something's going on, love is what they need, Zero. Love is what you always give. And so today
Yeah.
you look and it's not what happens. If you look at the native world, that we would see other natives and it would warm our heart and we'd talk to them and we'd get to know them. That's how you could always tell the native. The natives see you and they smile and hey, how are you? The non-native, oh man, that guy just wants to take your shit. And it's that guy, because mostly it's that guy that wants to take your shit and just throw you out. But then that fool doesn't know how the fuck you got your shit. He doesn't know how you made what you did. They just take it over. Within a generation or two, they're done. They don't have anything to give. And so it's just, we come from love. And so if you could take what I have, okay. But if you take what I have, that's not really what I have. What I have, you can't take away. And what we value is what you can't see. And that's what I'm saying. It's your tezcatlipoca. Everything that's valuable that you don't see is your tezcatlipoca. Everything that you see is your quetzalcoatl. That's your that's the light, that's the dawn, and all your shit just blossoms, and it's where does that energy live? It lives in your spine, because the moment I was talking about that split, your spine is the first fucking spine. It's your first serpent that gives you life. The second serpent is your umbilical cord is first, then it becomes your spinal cord, and that's where your soul exists, in your spine. And then I know me, when I get angry, oh fuck, my back, I can feel it in my back, because some things do make me angry. When I see somebody with no melanin taking all my resources to fucking shoot guns at me with the bullets, I'm paying for the fucking bullets for them to shoot at me. Fuck that. We're in 2024, Ruben. Do you know that? Do you know that in today, how can it be colonization, victimization, all this fucking caca has to.
Well, it's
Guys, 626-596-1033, right, Zero?
yeah. I mean, it's happening now, bro. It
Yeah, bro.
hasn't stopped.
The
It's
time is
happening.
now,
It
brother.
has not stopped. That I think that the invention of TV and
Of course,
newspapers
because
and
dude, we don't
books
live on fucking TV.
distort
I'm not on TV.
distort our perception of
Dude, the only time we're
what
on TV
reality
is to
is. What
fucking look like
reality
shit.
is. Reality is in the moment. Reality is in the moment. What is happening right this second?
Yeah, but brother, you
Right
could
this
always
second,
tell who
people are
watches too much TV.
organizing and bombing and bombing a community
Well,
of children.
Ruben, it's
Right.
all men. It's all men. It's ever been men, dude. All men from the fucking get-go. The men get here.
But
Even remember, what did our
but my
natives say?
point.
Hey, where's all their women? They came with no
But
men,
my
no women.
But my point is this: it's never changed since they've
Hello, of
got here.
course not.
It's
That's
never
why
been
this is
that.
the
It's
age
never
of
been that.
women.
So
This is the
there's no
beginning.
need to complain about it. What we need to do is focus in on our temple,
Right.
because the more we're focused in on our temple, in terms of, like, I've been going through so much in my life. If you know me personally,
Right.
you know what I'm going through.
Brother,
But
my heart
that's not
goes out
that's
to
not
you, brother.
but that's not what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk about that
Okay.
part. I want to talk about what I'm doing to heal myself.
Right. Well,
That's what I'm
but
doing.
it's an
So
ongoing
here,
process, brother.
let me share what my brother Robin, he's fucking cool as
I love
fuck.
that kid.
Yeah, he's
And he's not
fucking
a kid,
on.
but to me, he's a
Man,
kid. I think he's half my
dude,
age.
he's 26 years old, but he's very wise. He's
Yeah.
very
Yeah, I
deep.
like that
He's an
guy.
old soul. Anyways, he tells me, you know, he's all, use your rattle, bro. He's all, use your rattle. And you use your rattle, you're trying to sing a song in the sweat lodge or whatever. But he's all, no, use your rattle, bro. He's all, look, close your eyes and use your rattle and pretend like it's water, right? and that frequency is going to hit your skin. And just keep pushing the rattle and pushing the rattle and pushing the rattle, and act like that vibration is water cleansing your soul, right? Like you're dirty.
Right.
Those bad thoughts, those bad moments, those bad perceptions. Use the rattle. And I've been doing it before I go to sleep. I rattle myself off for about, I want to say 20 minutes. That's how that I get entranced by it. And I start to see things. I start to remember things and frequencies. Now, all of this is happening because I take care of my vessel. I'm not interfering it with alcohol. I'm not interfering it with the harsh digestion of meat. I'm able to feel that vibration coming from the rattle and saying, it's okay, life happens. And sometimes your soul gets what we call dirt, but use the rattle. You have tools. It's just like what Daniel was saying. The tonal machio is right there. Take the time to learn it. It looks like a complex math system, but take it one step at a time. We need to get back on that road. That's what plant-based Aslan is about.
Right.
That's what Malinali Superfoods is about. That's what the Teocalli system is about. All these things are one large community, one large movement that needs to come together, look at each other and say, hey, bro, I love you. I care about you. You know, this guy comes into the store and I was like dazed and I didn't recognize like that they came into the store. So they walked out. And then 10 seconds later, the dude comes back in and says, hey, you know what, bro? We walked out because you didn't say anything to us. And I went, oh my God, bro, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm just going through something. Anyways, he's all, and he's all, oh, I see. Oh, okay. Hey, bro. And he starts giving me advice. He starts showering me with love,
Right.
bro.
It's a
At
native,
the end of
brother.
the day,
It's a native.
I gave him 2 hours. I said, bro, these are on the house, bro, and I love you.
Right.
And he's all, dude, I love you too, bro. He's all, don't trip, dude. It just, I have to be brave enough to say something,
Yes.
and you have to be brave enough to go, I'm sorry.
Right.
And then we're in the same. And I go, dude, you need to be a part of plant-based Aslan. You need to be a part of
Well, he
plant-based
is
Aslan.
already by default.
Exactly, bro. Like that's what we're creating here in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? That's what we're creating in East Los Angeles on Whittier Boulevard. You know what I mean? The historic Whittier Boulevard where they shot Ruben Salazar.
Yeah. Hey,
We're trying to change. We're trying to help ourselves.
you know, Ruben,
We're trying to help ourselves.
that
That's what we're
place is
trying to do.
in a very strategic place too, man. I mean, I wanted to thank you for when we were there last time that my nephew came, and the next day was when they did the no cruising. You know, they took down the no
Oh yeah, they
cruising.
celebrated the new cruising.
And man, I have to say too, give a shout out to your homie Ernesto, your neighbor there, man. Man, that guy,
Yeah, Ernie.
Ernie. Oh man, dude, I love that guy. I love that guy
Man, he's
because,
an
man, and I
OG.
told him, I said, you know, dude, because you know, Ruben, myself, I'm a Mexica. Okay, I'm a Mexica. I don't consider myself a Chicano. You can call me
Mm.
that, and I'm not offended by that, but I'm not. You know, what I mean, I consider myself a Mexica, and so I was having this conversation with him, and man, that guy's a straight Chicano, and I tell you, man, he humbled me, and just I thought to myself, man, I haven't been giving the Chicano enough credit, and this guy, man, really just. So I just think, you know, Ruben, man, I felt very humbled, man.
Look, I think people get confused when you say you're. Look, I don't believe in races. Races is a narrative brought by
Right,
the
of course,
Vatican,
of course, of course.
right? So if and when you say you're Mexica,
Yes.
we can't automatically think like the Vatican narrative and go, "Oh, he's talking about
Yeah, but Ruben,
race."
I don't think
He's
about
not
that, man.
talking
I
about
just say
race.
who I
What
am.
we're talking about when we talk
Right.
about when we talk about Mexica, we're talking about their practices. We're talking about their knowledge of the Tonan Machio,
Right, right.
how they apply it to their life,
Well, brother, okay,
and
so
how they follow this count.
well, I would say this too.
That is Mexica.
But Ruben, I would say this. To me, when I explain as a Mexica, I'm a Mexica, and so a Mexica, my goal is to resonate from my heart. Okay, my heart. And so as a Mexica, we're the people from the serpent, you know, from the Goa. And so our people have been here a long time. Like our place of origin is in a cave in Salt Lake City, and so that's like our story goes back way back, and even in the northern tribes talk about when our tribe went to the south, and so I trip out because I look at all the serpents and I see how all the serpents in it. It's my upbringing that I was raised by the people of the serpent, and so I mean it's just my way. I'm not, how do you say it? Just so, but being a
It's
Mexica,
your way. It's your way because you practice it, you learn
well, I
it, you
mean,
study.
I
All
trip out,
those
Ruben.
things.
Well, yeah, because it's something that I have
Because
a
people
passion
read
about.
books, but people read books all day,
Yeah, but
dude.
Ruben, I
I got
didn't read books
fucking
to find out this stuff,
bookworms
though.
all day. You know what I mean?
I found a
Like
couple books that
bookworms.
were good, but that's not like books are not the way the Mexica, because I learned everything with teachers telling me this. That's why, okay, I'll give you a point. I remember one time when I was on the podcast, some fool, and I say fool because I'm not even going to give him a name, said that I was saying Chico say wrong. I thought to myself, what the fuck this guy say that? Because I mean, I'm there studying, and they told us, Chico say, and I was thinking, okay, fuck it. I remember one time I saw in a book, it was written Chico Ase, and I was talking to myself, why the fuck would they spell like that? But it made sense to me. It made sense to me because you know what? The people writing books, those aren't our people. In fact, like our people are outside. Their people are in fucking classes and writing shit. And so that fucker telling me, oh, it doesn't sound right. Fuck that guy. You know what I mean? Because
But we just
you
get
learn you learn an oral tradition, and like for you to
that,
correct people with books, for people that learn an oral
Look,
tradition, dude.
I actually used to read Goosebumps as a kid,
No,
so
but that's fiction. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, and all
but
due
look,
respect,
look, to get back to the point of the Mexica and the Chicano, right? It's like, okay, when we start to use the Vatican narrative and go, oh, that's a race. Chicano's a race. Mexica's a race. Mexican's a race. No,
But
man.
why would
It's
we use
whatever
the
you
Vatican
practice.
as an example? Like those fuckers aren't even around here. They're
No, what I'm
so
saying
far
is
away.
they came and brought that narrative of
Yeah, but
race.
Ruben, the thing is, you got to
That's
say,
what I'm
okay, but
saying.
they're also the people that believe we
They're
came out of an
African.
asshole.
They're African.
Yeah, but
I'm
dude,
not
that's like
I'm not
no,
justifying
but
what they are. We all
how do you say?
once you study and go into depth about what the Vatican is, you'll start to realize the truth. And this is the place where we need to be. We need to be sovereign
You're
in
funny.
our
Hey, but Ruben,
information.
I don't know, man. I don't think I need to go read about the Vatican to know that they're full of caca. You know what I mean? Because it's just that's not even where we're at. We're on the sacred land. Like that's why I trip out if people say, "Oh, this everywhere we go is sacred land." How could one piece of the land not be sacred? That to me, that's weird. Like they tell you so much shit. Like things that we are raised with that are just caca. Like okay, your enemies, keep your enemies close. Who the fuck teaches you that? Your enemy fucking teaches you that. Like, dude, like they tell us dumb shit and they expect us to follow it. And it's like, we're Mexicas, man. We don't follow their shit. Okay, check it out. And I've said this before. Where does the circle begin and end, Ruben? And Armando, where does the circle begin and end?
hold on. I'm trying to get this call in.
But okay,
It really does. I mean,
my point is this, brother.
oh,
On the Aztec calendar, we have a circle that's 20. And the first fucking sign is Cipactli. So in our shit, it's so old that we show you where in the circle it starts. Fucking swallow on that.
yeah, I get. I'm not. I
know
don't
you're
know
not
where
rude, but
we
I'm
went
saying
with.
like
I know.
we don't need to go to the Vatican to prove that they're full of caca. You know what I mean? Like, dude,
We have to go to the Vatican because you have to reverse engineer these things. You have.
I don't know.
I would like to be like, oh yeah, I
Okay,
was
Ruben,
born in
let
a
me. Okay, here's
family
the
that.
thing. Check this out.
Wait, Daniel, let me finish
Okay.
my point. What I would love to be born. What we have to be sensitive to the community that is day oneer who still maybe goes to church but is interested and wants to hear more about their indigeneity. I get people at the store going, man, what is all this? And I
Yeah.
start explaining it to them, and it gets new. And it's like, damn, I still go to church. I still do this. I still do that. Like, we have to be open for people. That's why you have to reverse engineer these things. If you don't mention the Vatican,
Fuck, I don't know.
if and you apply it to who you need to do
Okay,
it
but here's
to.
the thing,
I'm
Ruben.
not saying to do it like to everybody. I'm just saying when we talk in general to the community that is LA natives, they're day oneers, and there's deep ones like you that
Well, all right,
they
so-
have the privilege of knowing Nahuatl
Right.
and had the privilege of understanding that space when you went to Mexico and learned these
Yeah, but
things.
Ruben,
We
it's not.
we learn, and the way I learned by using my vessel. In other words, I practiced and learned the Nemotemi by myself. There was no eldership. There was no, and I'm sure there's better ways of doing it. But I'm the one that said, well, I'm going to start eating spirulina on a daily basis. I'm going to start researching what cacao does and eat it on a daily basis. I'm going to start researching what pine pollen does. We had to go back to our genetic understanding because when we lived in the jungle or the deserts and the things, we don't really kind of look for rabbits. There's other things that we can eat.
Yeah. Okay,
Seeds,
so Ruben, okay, so
berries, things of that nature, roots, mainly
all right,
roots.
so
We would harvest
wait,
roots.
so Ruben,
Roots are in the
okay,
dirt.
so
Absolutely.
The
Hey
dirt
guys,
carries the minerals.
check this out. We have a caller.
Yo, yo, yo.
Can you guys hear us?
Hello?
I can hear you.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I, I wanted to commend you guys for coming on and expressing that true deep expression of love. I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas. I
Oh
don't know if
shit!
you all know
Oh,
where
All
you
right,
cool,
are.
man.
you said Little Rock?
Cool. Little Rock. Woo. That's far.
Isn't that where the white black president's from?
Yeah, my right. So my grandmother, she always talks about being her mother being a full-blooded Cherokee Indian and all these things. So I would hear all these different versions of what people were, but I never ever saw a black person or a white person ever in my life. And I'm like, are people confused? So I'm like, okay, so are people
No, I don't
supposed
mean
to
to laugh, but it's beautiful.
because so it's
It's all good.
yeah,
Bro.
and it's kind of funny to me too. Like when I think about it, because I teach my kids now, and I'm like, I never thought about it in those ways that I always heard about it. So I had to construct in my own mind a way to view people, but I would see the energy on people around them, their aura. Like it was, like you can tell if somebody has a bad energy or they're not really truly
In your
expressing
heart,
the
in
deep
your heart,
love.
you can feel it in
Like
your
when
heart.
he said that he was born out of love, I felt that.
Yes.
It was deep. Like I felt it on the
Yeah, I
inside.
feel it
Oh
right
my
now. You're
God,
giving me
he's
chills.
expressing the truth.
That's good. I'm sorry. What's your first name? What's your first name?
My name is Sharaka.
Chawase. Oh, it's a beautiful name.
So,
Wait, hold it.
you know,
I'm gonna tell
I
you
think you
something.
brought,
I want to say something. Blood is a pilgrim scale. Do you understand that?
Oh yeah.
so, it's that was a good point that you brought up. That you when you were a kid, right? I'm trying to
We don't
rephrase it
have
about
those
what.
feelings,
Hold
Ruben.
up, Daniel. Let me
Sorry,
finish.
I'm saying.
Because if I don't finish my
Sorry,
thought, then I
bro.
can't finish. You said a very important thing. When you were a kid, you didn't see races, right? You said, I didn't see a black person. I just saw a person. I didn't see a white person. I just saw a person. I didn't see a black kid. I saw a kid, right? That is the main
Right.
thing we use to dismantle white supremacy. You see, white supremacy had to say, that's a black kid. That's a Mexican kid. That's a native kid. They had to do that so that we can all be separated. And now we all are in our own little piles, proud of each other and protecting each other, but fighting each other. And if we go back to that instinct of being a child, like you were, and being innocent enough to say, oh, there's a man, there's a woman, not there's a black man, there's a Chinese woman. You don't think like that when you're a child. And I'm telling you, LA natives, you get listening, you better start sharing this program because we're doing exactly what Daniel said, is we're coming from our YOLO. We're coming from our heart. This is heart energy.
Hey, Ruben,
The
I
heart.
laugh because when I was a kid, my sister, my brother had the same thing. They saw a black person and it scared them. I was too young. I didn't know, but it just, we're very
You still
innocent.
had that innocence of
It's
like, these
innocent,
are
man.
just
It's just
people.
like,
Like you know, if this person has a stick in his hand, he's gonna hit you. You don't go, oh, that's a white man with a stick in his hand. It's like,
well,
you just say,
again, to
that's a
Ruben, I
crazy
don't
dude
think
with a
we,
stick in his hand.
Well, I actually grew up, I have a black stepfather and two black stepsons.
Stepsons?
No, I mean,
I was gonna say, damn, how do you know?
I have a black, I have a black stepfather and two stepbrothers.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right.
I thought I heard that too.
I think,
Damn.
and coming from where you come from, sis, way out there in Arkansas, I mean, there's a movement happening where, African people from African descent are saying, "Oh, we're the original natives," and this and that. It doesn't matter who's original or anything, as long as we understand that we're not talking about races anymore. We're talking about people. We're talking about communities. We're talking about cultures that get labeled and get practiced, and that's what you are. Like me, I'm a Mexica. I follow the Tonalama. I eat minerals. I fast for 5 days every year. I fast pretty much every day of the year, eating my sacred minerals. It's the milk of the earth. Minerals are the milk of the earth. Our bodies are the vessel and water that receives that milk, and the sun is the energy that gives us the frequency.
Oh, I'm glad you said that about the water. There's some like I've been studying astrology and spirituality in different little pockets of the world for maybe the last 15 years, and like the last 3 or 4 years, really strong. I've been like coming to so many deep awarenesses, and it takes me to the essence of the spirit, the individual soul, the solo spirit that we have, that piece of God. And I'm like, it's not even a body. Like it's literally the essence of creation, and everything in creation came into creation the exact same way. So there's really no difference in anybody or anything. It's just what waters we did come out of. So when we were born out of the waters of our mom's belly, or out of the waters of the essence of creation, it wasn't a black or white or Mexican, Hispanic, or any of that. It was just that thought, the thought of God, but it was the word that could be heard through the silence, that vibration that started the frequency that we hear now with sound. So it's like everything is like really awakening, and like I really love to see that expressive love though. Like that just hit me so hard, and I don't even know what kind of made me click on the channel, but I was like, oh, like these guys are talking, so I clicked on it, whatever, and started saying that I love. I
Hey,
felt
my
it all
friend,
on
I
the
want to share
inside.
with
I'm
you
like, oh, I
something.
gotta call the number.
No, this is good. I want to share with you something. There's a word in Nahuatl. It's called sewatl, sewatl, and it means the first one in water. Literal meaning is the first one in water. Do you know what the word means? Sewatl. It
No,
means a woman. And so,
Yeah.
and what you said too is amazing to me. I've noticed lately that a lot of the indigenous cultures, they're finding ways of etching it into the stone sound, so that when we see it, we look at it, and then if we study it and if we know it, it makes a sound for us. So it's interesting you said that. It's a sound and you see it, so it's a feeling. And so the native culture was incorporating like a deeper message. And that's why when I look at the Tonal Machotl, they were taking information and making it pretty, making it vibrate. But it's the sun, because we're the people, you, me, Ruben, we came from the sun. The sun is our creator. There's people here that they believe that they came from monkeys, and I don't argue with them. I believe them. They probably are coming from monkeys. Well, I'm not from those people. We're the people that were born in the belly of the moon. That the moon is the womb. So
Yes.
the moon and the womb are the same. And so we're born in the belly of our mothers. That's why we have belly buttons. So my people are the people with belly buttons.
Dope. That's a good one. These
I
are
appreciate the phone call. Is there any last words you wanna say before we let you go?
I want
I
to.
do want to leave one thing with the concept of this whole religion and Bible thing. In Genesis and chapter 4, verse 14, when it speaks of that the true essence of beginning, we see that we were all there, so we can dispel these myths and these lies that have been perpetrated throughout history from different cultures. They're going still a little bit here, still a little bit there, and put it all together in their own little way. And yet, the story is the greatest story ever told. But that story is inside of all of us. We're living it. We are the stars. We are the essence of creation. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, true.
And I love you guys. I love you all.
I love you back. Thank you.
Hey man, thank you for your phone call. See, this is amazing. Like a woman came and shared her perspective.
Well, I mean, brother, we always need the woman, man.
And it was profound. It was
It's
profound. She had a lot cool to say. And that's what I love about this show. Like I said, Daniel's like, we got day oneers, we got somebody that can,
Right.
when you look at the Torna Mashiach, bro, that's like a complex mathematical equation.
right.
It's
Right.
it's
No, right.
sometimes overwhelming to look at if you're trying to decipher it because you're like, oh my God, where the fuck do I start?
But Ruben, I'm gonna add this too, though, man. You were talking about something earlier. I wanted to make 2 points, man. Okay, the first point is this: as a Mexica, I eat the same foods that my ancestors ate. When I'm eating a tortilla, when I'm eating, a tamal, when I'm eating chocolate, all the food that my ancestors had, we have it. And I mean, this, man. You're in the heart of like, I've been there at Malinali Foods, and you guys got some food there that's just straight, it's been served for millennium, and so we're one of the people that when you look at us, that our culture is old enough that we have foods that are considered cultural,
Right.
and so we don't need to go far, like even tonight I made tortillas, tortillas with tamal, I had garlic, chile, like it's the way I prepare my meal for my father and myself, and so I mean, you're right. And with your advice too, I take more minerals, I do more things, but also too, is that we're able to still eat the foods that our ancestors ate, and so that's something, and then the second thing I was going to share with you, Ruben, is I don't know if you remember this, but I myself was, I wouldn't say forced, but coerced, guilted into going to catechism and my first communion. Like I was raised in the Catholic Church, Ruben. So me, when I was 16 and I did my final confirmation, my dad said, "Okay, mijo, if you don't want to go back, you don't have to go back anymore." Ruben, do you think I went back? No, I never went back. So when you ask me about the Vatican, bro, I'm like, fuck that. I'm over that shit. All up to like when I was 16, I was force fed that shit. And so, bro, I don't even want to talk about it. Like all the shit I had to deal with, like just, and so I was indoctrinated, into the Catholic religion. And you weren't, and I'm glad you weren't, brother, because it's gaga, you know what I mean? And just like, and so that's a part of my life that, man, because once I found my love, and once I, like my mother, like, man, I loved her to death, but God, she guilted me into going to church. And it's like, shit. But I mean, when you love somebody, and you know this, man, when you love somebody, like you do crazy shit.
Yeah, you do.
You never do.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the balance that we need to learn is like redefining these things because love is not possession. Love is
No, it's not. Oh my God. Control and love are never in the same shit at all.
Right.
If you're trying to do control, that's not love. And if you think that's love, you're tripping. You're broken, man. Nah, sorry. It's
But
just
they're
like
also
saying, I love you. I love you. No, fuck no. You just, like people have, what's that word? They've co-opted the word love, man. Like, fuck, don't do that. It's better just to don't say it. It's better because love's a word that you do. It's not one that you say. It's a Tezcatlipoca.
those are the things that we need to redefine for ourselves.
No,
But that's the premise of like the four agreements is
right,
understanding the life of the first attention and
right.
trying to detangle all those habits from it because you'll get to the life of the second attention where you've studied Nahuatl, where you've gotten to a place of fasting or a spiritual sense. You don't have to fast. That's my thing.
Right.
That's
But
just
Ruben, here's the thing, though. I wanted to say something, Ruben, that I myself, I'm the only one that wanted to learn Nahuatl. No one said, "Hey, down yet." I mean, it was something that it was my passion. And so, like, man, it's like pretty girls, man. Like all day, I'll do that all day. Nahuatl, I'll do that all day. It's shit that I'm into, weed, fuck, all day. I'll do that shit all day. There's just certain things that I'm into. And that's just me. I don't want to hurt anybody, but I mean, it's my passion, And so to me, man, I'm just that person that's passionate for knowledge, man, in my culture because I was lied to and I felt like I was like kicked to the curb when I was in third grade, like they said, "Oh, damn, you're Mexican. You're not American." It's like at third grade, that was kind of a lot of shit for them to give me. And I thought, all right, fuck it then. Fuck
and
it. I don't need your shit.
and as we grow out of those traumas, because at one point and again, I'm gonna go back to the first attention and the life of the second attention, is that when we don't take things personal, we're able to understand our environment, right? In the jungle, the rabbit doesn't take it personal from the jackal eating it. It's like it's just the way it happens. You know, it's something that happens in the jungle.
Right.
So we need to be very focused in that sense. You know, with our emotions and how we walk and how we take care of ourselves. That's why it's so crucial
Right.
to understand the basic concepts of our ancestors, which were micro and macro.
For sure.
Micro.
Ruben, the thing is, we were so old. Okay, like if you look at the middle of the Tonal Machotu, there's 4 squares in the middle, man. Those 4 squares are metaphors for a lot of things.
Mm.
One of the metaphors is for the colors of the people: white, black, red, and yellow. So we already know that we're different colors, but we're all part of the circle.
Mhm.
If anything, though, Ruben, I would say this, man. It really irritates the shit out of me when I keep hearing all these history shit and everything, trying to make it sound like we came from Asia or from Europe. And it's just this whole narrative that they were here first. And that's just such bullshit. Because if they were here first, they'd have been here first. Shit. And it's not, no, it wouldn't have been the new world. They came, they got here and said, fuck it, no more any other language but English. Now man's in charge. Like, dude, shit just went awry. Like, they had done that to Europe. Remember in Europe, they said, hey, love it or leave it. What's the bullshit they tell us?
Well, that's a perfect place to play that clip. Remember the Egyptian clip? I want to play a clip just so that people can get a perspective of what Roman culture was. Not that one. It's the one where is this
Roman, wasn't that
no,
the
no,
one
that
that
was
just
that
said,
one.
I'm going to kill you and take your shit?
Watch, check it out. So
Isn't
we're
that,
gonna listen. We're gonna listen to what they did to Egypt once Rome went into Egypt. I believe it's this one. Okay. Listen to that. Listen to that. That.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and grab that.
I'm gonna show this clip. Me and Daniel will have an opinion.
Hold on. Let's go ahead and pull up the clip so people can see.
Perfect. Thank you, Armando. Okay, stop it. So think about that, Daniel. Everything you're describing
Yeah.
has been going on
Hello.
hundreds and thousands of years. I mean,
course
it's
it has,
been going
man.
on forever. But that's an example of like, okay, so they come into Egypt and they start restricting them from doing things. Doesn't that sound fucking familiar?
Well, Ruben,
Doesn't that sound like Israel and Palestine? Doesn't
Ruben,
that sound like
if
fucking
you don't
the,
evolve,
the pilgrims and the
you're on a
Indians?
merry-go-round. It's on a merry-go-round. Same shit, different day. Same shit, different century. Same shit,
Absolutely.
different
So
decade.
but we have to get to that point where we're seeing it going through these cycles so
Right.
that we can break the cycle or create a new cycle.
Well, I think that here's the thing. Think about this. It's kind of crazy, but it's love. Because these fools have no love in what they're doing. You ask them, hey, what's this about? Where's your love? What are you after? What are you doing that's going to make me say, oh, let me throw my love away and follow you? Oh, let me change my way of harmony and follow. Think about
It
that. It's
comes
like,
it comes from your Catholic teachings
yeah,
of
oh
of
hell yeah,
submission, of
guilt,
submission,
guilt everywhere.
guilt.
Hey,
I
but
mean,
bro, but we didn't come out of a man's anus. That's the problem. Okay. And not only that, but my people over here, we're not into faith. We're into fact. Big difference. Okay.
yeah.
When you have facts, you don't need faith. And so once I threw faith out, facts began to make sense. It's like you can have faith. Oh, I'm going to get that job. Nah, man, fuck, you already know. I mean, just once you begin to observe shit the way it is, then you're not living in your head so much. And so, because here's the thing, I didn't know this, but they said, oh, they didn't tell me when you graduated college, people are going to struggle with you because you don't look like them. But then how would they know that? None of them are me. And
Right.
so Yeah, I'm always a quandary for people because usually they look at me and I usually say, "Hey, sorry, nah, man, I speak the King's English because I guess I just like to fuck people up." But it's just, hey, sorry, I know the law, I know the language, and I've been down this road before. And if
Right.
you're a law enforcement agent, aren't I supposed to be breaking the law for you to be fucking with me? And
Well,
it's
I
just
mean,
like,
when we talk about like, systems of governance, they're never going to be fair. They're always going to be objected. And it's just kind of like the same situation that we just heard on the clip. When a colonial power comes into our space, they start to roll out their rules and start condensing the population and
right.
splitting them apart. I mean, all
But
those things. But
Ruben,
whatever they described there for that particular Roman thing that happened, you could see it in Palestine. You could
right.
see it in all these other what happened to us here with the United States.
Well, Ruben, they're calling it now today. It's settler culture. Okay, and
Right.
just think about something. Okay, this is kind of a trip, but just think about something. Okay, the idea of living in a home and then selling it and going somewhere else. How many places? I mean, that's
Mhm.
not something that in history people did. Most of the time, where you lived is where you died, and your grandfather was there, and and so the whole idea of private property, so I'm like this, the whole money thing fucks all this up, because we live in a society that created competition, but they created competition, but they put themselves like this. They stole everything and then said, now there's no more stealing. Okay.
Yo, yo, yo. Are
Think
you
about
there?
that one.
Can you
Yeah.
hear us, caller?
Hello? Hello. I don't think
Okay.
he's on.
I'm just checking. Hold on.
But the thing is, Ruben, we just have to take our power back. But I think the main thing we got to do is we just got to stop buying their shit. Because man, they love money so much that man, once we pull back our resources, because right now our resources go to do the shit that they're doing. And no,
Hello, hello, hello. Are you
stop.
there? Can
We
you hear
have to
us?
stop
Yeah, yeah.
funding the
Can
demise
you
of
hear
our
me?
own society.
We have a caller.
Right
Yo,
on.
yo. Hello?
Hello,
All my relations.
Yo.
You guys
yo,
got
what's up, brother?
this is word list or word first, whatever. Everyone says it different. But yeah, I'm calling in because you guys called me out, so I guess I got to do it. But yeah, and then but if I can just get in on this conversation, like about
Absolutely.
the whole
With love,
like this
brother, with
brother
love.
right here. Oh, yeah, all love to you too, man. Like I said, I'm the one that has the flyer from when you came to Colorado still,
Oh,
like in
damn.
'06. Yeah,
Oh.
so
Been doing
yeah,
it for a while,
thanks
brother.
for
Love you.
yeah. But yeah, with the whole like not needing to learn any of like what the Vatican did or anything like that, and just to like remain on the path. Like I agree. Like to remain on the path, it's important, and we need that because, like you said, like they took it from us, and well, we gave it, but they don't know how to maintain it.
Right, right.
But the thing is I feel that in order to reach everybody and to break the constructs that they put in place that hold us hostage, I think we have to learn like everything about their history, and like that's basically what I've dedicated my entire adolescence to. Because I mean, like my story is my entire family got excommunicated from the Roman Catholic Church when I was in about third grade,
Oh shit.
and so I got to see like, every ugly side of the church and everything like that, and saw the games that they play, and things of that sort. So like, just like having like I don't know if like a semi-historical family in that sense when it comes to indigenous people in the church. My two sisters were the first female altar servers as well. And I kind of feel like that's the reason why we ended up getting excommunicated out of the church, because there was a lot of pushback from the main players. But with that being said, like some of the social constructs that we can break down is like with the whole thing with like the Virgin Mary and Our Lady of Guadalupe. A lot of people don't realize that that's the Fair Nessie, which was the girlfriend or daughter of the ruling class of Spain at the time. And that's why a lot of things are named the way they're named. Just like America, that's a dude's name. And
Yes.
I just feel like, and if you look at that dude's coat of arms, it's the colors of the flag. And like, we can always say, like, you know, they took the colors from us and all that, but they had their own game before they got here. And they had their own everything before they got here. Like, a lot of people want to say they get into spiritualism and stuff like that with tarot cards and stuff like that, but not realizing that those are just allegories for the royal family. And if you look into them, you can read coat of arms through them and kind of decipher and see which ones belong to who. And so that's why I feel like it's really important for us to like break down everything that they do,
Right.
and why they do it. And that's when you can really call out the bullshit. So like when Brother Zero is, when he's misspeaking and he's saying things and he understands that words are curses, but if he places them in the wrong places, they won't manifest the next move.
Yes.
So I understand that's why you try to correct. Like, no, we didn't do it. We're doing it. With that being said, like, it's important for us to know why they put those constructs into place in order for us to truly decipher everything.
Right.
And we can explain even further. Like, oh, you're doing that because of this. And
Right.
I think that, but both sides are definitely equal and important.
But you know, too, brother, I was going to
like
add
you said,
the trickster, you know, because we have the trickster, and the thing is what they have it, but they don't play by the rule, you know, and we have a trickster for a reason, you know, because it's to change order. It's to give a little bit of chaos, to give us.
do you think we have the trickster though? Do you think we have the trickster, or do you think it was just impressed upon us?
You know what, brother? My day that I'm born, I'm the one that tricks the trickster. That's
Right.
me.
And the day that
I
I'm
was
born, on the day that I'm born, I'm the jaguar.
Right.
I thought about
I
it.
mean, but do you
And-
get what I'm
and-
saying? Is it like they're
Right.
So you're
But
that
if you look back at our core, but if you look back at the
they had
Winnebago tribe,
the gesture,
the
right?
Winnebago tribe and their trickster.
Yes, yeah. So, but what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
so
So with that though, no, but wait, hold on, wait, let me say
go
this.
ahead.
With that, research Loki. He
Yeah,
had-
no. I've been. It's funny you say that. I've just recently learned about Loki. So yeah, I have been doing that, brother. That's kind of why. Because when I learned that I was the trickster, I kind of went into that. You know, exactly.
I want to go
And
ahead.
I
Yo, guys, real quick. I want to go ahead and play this other clip that Zero wanted to play.
That's dope, Loki. I
Hold
love
on for
that.
1 second. I like your
the
point.
western and southern
Yeah, good
part from the
points.
northern eastern part.
got
And then
more.
as a result, that's where most of the fresh water was going in. They actually turned the southwestern part of the lake fresh. And then as a freshwater lake, they then put floating gardens in it. And in the process, they could maximize food production. So when Cortez comes up over the mountains and he's looking down in the Valley of Mexico, it had a population of about 8 million people. Today, the Valley of Mexico has a population of about 25 million people because it's the 5th largest metropolitan area on the planet. It's 7,000 feet in elevation, so higher than Denver, for those of you who are obsessed with the mile-high city. Mexico City is way higher. And it has kind of a rough climate for growing food, but with the way the Aztecs rigged this thing, they can support a population of 8 million people. It was literally the most densely populated piece of property on planet Earth. It was more densely populated than any place in India, China, Egypt, anywhere that has traditionally high density populations.
that right there real quick.
And that was because
Sure, pause it. Sure, go for it.
Like, so with the going on trend with what I was saying, listen to the way that he phrases everything. He's phrasing it divisively. When in reality, Denver was our indigenous land. We didn't live in one fucking square.
Right.
We went all over. So listen to his divisive nature of it. He's measuring a dick by how tall the mountains are.
Right.
And that's what they do.
And
Hey,
the
he don't got melanin. He don't got melanin, brother.
And the reason I pulled the clip up is not for the educational purposes, but I wanted to use a contrast to what we saw in the clip of the Roman side of things, right? The Romans come and conquer and steal, right? They don't. They don't.
Uses the Roman Empire,
right? And it's going back to what you're saying, right? The Vatican, and they transform into these places, right? And it goes even deeper because the people who started the Vatican were African. They weren't white at all. They weren't white at all.
The first ones were black. Yeah, I know.
First ones were black. And if you take it even further, well, then who were those guys? Who were the first popes? Well, they were the rich sheiks. Yeah. They were the rich sheiks from the desert.
Right? Yo, I just want to mention there's a lot of people calling in, but please, but please stop calling us with block numbers and colors and numbers with no caller ID. That's funny, right? So fools are calling in, but they don't want to like. They want to block it, guys. We're using Google Voice, so it won't work.
I was going to throw in too. When you think
give
about
us your number, guys. Right? There's nothing wrong with that, Zero.
Hey, but check it out. I want you to think about Christmas and the three wise men. Okay, the three wise men. What do they look like?
Right, they look like Arabs.
Yes.
Right. They would have been
bringing riches,
something like that. Yeah.
And think of how old that story is.
So so what I'm trying to say is that this professor or whatever he was doing, he was describing people who are one with nature. Right. That's how you get dense population. You don't get dense population by coming in and crucifying half of Egypt. You don't come in and subjectify a people and make them wear a certain color so you can identify who they are. That's not what we do. And that's my point. That's the contrast that we need to have. We need to go, wow, I don't want to be like that, but I don't know any other way. And I can't go back in time and learn the way of our ancestors. Yes, you can. You start at the foundation of it. And the foundation of that understanding is what? Your own vessel. Because your own vessel carries blood from a woman that was passed down from another woman and another woman and another woman, and we can go back to the beginning. That sacred blood flows in Daniel, it flows in you, brother, and it flows in me. How do we connect with it? Like the ancestors connected to the earth and made fresh water streams and brought abundance to the community. You can't tell me that don't live inside of me. I know because I'm doing it. Malinali Superfoods, Plant-Based Aslan, that's a community that has these conversations, that he eats high mineral frequency foods. We're building it. We're doing it as a community.
And we need it. Like, it's definitely needed.
Absolutely, bro. I love your contribution, bro. You got good points.
I love it. It's Colorado.
I just want to mention to the homie that's calling in, he's a loyal LA Natives podcast listener.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you.
I really appreciate your support, brother.
No, man, and keep calling, bro. Keep bringing your points, man. This is look. I sit behind this mic, but this is not my show.
Yeah.
This is not. That's why my name is Zero.
Hey, but I got to shout out, brother.
Zero, and people think, well, then zero means nothing. No, zero is the whole thing. It's the completion. It's everything. When you start, like Daniel said, where does the circle start? It starts from here and it goes to the 0 point. So then zero does not mean nothing. It means the completion of the whole entire cycle, whatever is in it, whatever lived in it, all of it, and created a new one after.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is us.
And, yeah. And then, but I need to say one thing, just because you said the three wise men.
Go for it.
That's another allegory. Those are magi. They're magi. That's what the priests of Zoroastrianism call their priests.
There you go. So, bring that info to us every week, my bro. You will always be welcome. Thank you so much for joining. This is what I'm talking about, man.
Is it wordless or word first, brother?
It's whatever you want. You keep the word.
Hey, but brother, I want to thank you for the word low-key. because I was studying that this week and it tripped me out how you said something that I was already on earlier this week. So, man, I appreciate that,
You
brother.
know, I'm
And
just
I'll
gonna
tell you
be
why,
real.
Daniel.
Low-key's
I'll tell
been
you
going
why.
viral lately, though. I'm just saying, you know, the homie low-key's been going viral.
No, but
and I'll
this
tell you
was
why.
the trickster, brother. It was like in the Norseman's culture. It was dope. I mean,
You know, and when we get to the trickster, we got to understand one thing. Our experience will be many tricksters in front of us, you know, because we're experiencing things, right? That's why in the Sundance, there's a Hayoka,
yes,
right?
good example.
Do you know anything about that, brother?
Do I?
No, the guy on the phone. Or is he gone?
Oh, I think we got
Oh,
disconnected.
never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. But anyways, there's always a Hayoka. A Hayoka is the one that can walk freely, make fun of you, and
Drink water.
go up to you with a big old Jamaica, you know,
Yeah.
and you're in your days of fasting and praying and this, that, and the other, you know, and so we need.
He's back, Zero.
Oh, hello? Yes. So, anyways, I wanted to just, you know, kind of talk to you real quick in terms of the trickster. You know what I mean? Because we all have to understand, like, we're not debating each other here. We're bringing
no.
We're bringing information to the table, and I really enjoyed your phone call, brother. I really wanted to tell you that, and you know, right when I was gonna say it, you know, Marlon said he's not there anymore, but in terms of the point of the trickster is that we always have to have something that's gonna entice us to go to these places, right? And it's our discipline, it's our full potential that allows us to see what it is. So that manifests, you know. And I was gonna ask you if you knew about the Sundance, because do you know about the Sundance?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I'm and more of my history. I'm a graduate of Escuela de Tlatelolco in Colorado.
Oh,
so
nice, sweet.
it's a
So then you
social
know about
activism.
that. So then you know about the Hayokas, right? The Hayokas that come into the Sundance and they're trying to tempt you.
and they go the opposite way.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yo, I'm
Well,
just out of curiosity. From what city are you calling from?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver.
dope,
What's up?
fire. Dope. I didn't know. I thought you were from Los Angeles for some reason.
Hey,
But
but brother, that
That's dope. That's
Tlatelolco
dope,
where you
Joe,
went
right?
to
Denver.
school
We
is
got
not
Denver in the
I'm
building.
from Anahuac.
It's a native
I'm
school
from
there.
Anahuac.
absolutely, you are. Absolutely, you are. We are from Turtle Island, Nawak. There we go. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about, my bro. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The familia. We know that we can extend out there, and we have a brother right there who knows what's up.
And in Denver, it's like what, midnight right now, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Man, that's love.
Anyways, brother, thank you for your conversation. You know, I just wanted to kind of, you know, put that in perspective and know that, you know, whatever information I don't know, I'm humble enough to say, hey, teach me, please. You know, because
Yeah, definitely.
I can't, I'm absorbing everything, you know. I don't have time to be in a space where I know more than you, or I'm gonna try to prove my point, because I lost my self-importance a long time ago. My self-importance is not relevant. My experience, my love, and my clarity is what brings me and connects me with brothers like you. So thank you for calling, my bro.
Yeah, thank you,
hopefully
brother.
we'll hear from you soon,
Thank
okay?
you. All love, and yeah, I'm not trying to like debate anyone or anything.
Ah, no,
I'm-
brother, all love.
as a scout.
Absolutely.
Going
Absolutely.
forward.
Absolutely.
And yelling back at everybody what I've seen.
Exactly. my
No,
friend. We
but
gotta-
just like how
That's it.
Zero said, this is your show, bro.
Yes, this is your show, man. Absolutely.
Right on, man. That's cool. That's cool.
All right. We'll see you soon.
My brother, peace.
Oh, we had one more phone call, Armando?
We had a few, but everyone's calling blocked or unknown. So I'm just letting everyone know. Just call normal,
This
guys.
is not like,
Yeah, just
you know,
call
Pull and Tell Pro. We're not like trying to, you know, get you on the radar and shit. But,
That's
you know, I had a really good time today at the podcast, man. Like, I really enjoyed the conversation I had with Daniel, conversation with the caller that just called.
We're an hour and a half in. We're about
Oh,
to wrap
shit.
it up. But you know what's crazy, Zero? We're peaking right now in viewers. The chat is lit. I just, you know, guys, remember, it's 8 p.m.
What?
Pacific Standard Time every Wednesdays, right, Zero?
Yes, sir.
And just make sure, do us a favor, guys, for everyone tuning in, share this video, like the
need
video,
to tag-
comment on the video. We need to hit the algorithm hard. You know, YouTube is trying to shout about us. They just removed one video from our page because of disinformation, which is bogus. Right, Zero. So let's attack the algorithm. Share the video, comment on the video, like the video, and just tell other people to listen.
They need to tag 10 people. You know,
And we're only going YouTube now so everyone knows it's youtube.com/LA Natives Podcast.
And you need to tag 10 people. We need to create a community that cannot be messed with. You know, we need to gather up all the lawyers. We need to not lawyers, but we need to gather up the good people that know the information, just like this brother call from Denver.
Right.
It's big.
Hey, but Ruben, they got good work. They're doing good work out there in Denver, man. It's a good group of people out there.
That's the people that we need to connect with. That's the people we need to learn from. That's the people we need to say, hey, hermano, where have you been?
Yeah, that Tlatelolco school out there, man. I mean, I lectured out there years ago, man. They're doing good work, man.
Nice.
A very good place, man. Denver's a very magical city, man. A lot of good, very good people there.
Right on. Well, I mean, like I said, man, I had a great time with you, Daniel. Thanks for coming.
Likewise, brother. I think time flew by, man. I just feel passionate sometimes, Ruben. I just feel like, I want our world to be so much better, and I think that, we just got to take it day by day, and the Jedi lives in the now. We don't live in the future, we don't live in the past, and so we live in the moment, and so.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is not my show. This is a show that Armando and I kind of put together for our community to gather resources, gather information, gather perspective, gather things. But I'm glad that you brought up love.
Well, I mean, it's the reason we do what we do, brother. I mean, like, shit, it's how we got here, because if there's not love, I don't even want to mess with it,
I mean, love is so tricky, and, it's something that you have to hold sacred. It's not something that like you were mentioning earlier today when we were talking, it's not something you place in someone's hands.
Right.
You got to hold your own love.
Yes. Yeah.
You got to hold
share
your
your
own
love. It's your love isn't out there. It's in here, and you share that. And
exactly. And once we do that, once we can get past that wall of doubt, of insecurity, of all those things, and look inward and know that you love yourself. You love yourself so much that you want to be full potential.
Right.
You want to be full potential. So, before I say the last words, Daniel, what would you like to say before you leave?
Well, I was going to say, man, just remember what you put out into the world comes back to you. So, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to put out so much bad energy and it would come back to me. So once I realized if I just give out love, it began to come back. So, I mean, it's just, if you could find that way to put it out there, make that, just say hello or good morning, or just make someone's day, or just do something to just, change your day, but just make a difference, and follow your heart, and so if you follow your heart, you'd be surprised how the world responds.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you for coming on, Daniel.
Yeah, likewise, man. You guys be good. Now, Armando, man, always good. Thank you for doing what you do, man, behind the scenes, brother.
Absolutely, Daniel.
Yeah, man. Well, it was a good show. I mean, we expressed ourselves. I mean, time went by. It was,
and I hope people will see us at the next plant-based Aztlan, brother. Come and try the flowers.
Oh, that's right.
So when's the next plant-based Aztlan?
Plant-based Aztlan will be on the first Sunday of February, and then we're gonna have the Teocalli event on February 24th. Just stay tuned to the Malinali Superfood page, and we'll have all that information for you.
All right.
Okay.
All right, brother. Peace out.
Absolutely, Daniel. We'll see you soon.
Yo,
we're probably gonna have Daniel do a workshop too on the Tonal Mashiach. So
absolutely. So guys, look, I'm actually gonna pull up the Malinali Superfoods Instagram. For anyone tuning in, just make sure you guys follow this page that you're about to see on the screen, guys. Very, very, very important. Right here, right, Zero?
Yes. Please follow the page. Join the community. We're starting a movement, and this movement has nothing to do with overthrowing governments or being violent towards people or being racist towards people. This movement revolves around the South, what we were talking about today in the show. We're talking about the love. Sometimes we're trying to give love to someone and we don't even have that love for ourselves. We have to be patient with our own community, with our own partners, with our own people that are just in our lives. Our children, the self-love is deep. It's not just, I love myself and I'm going to indulge in things. No, self-love sometimes is discipline. Sometimes love is telling yourself that you shouldn't do this. Sometimes love hurts, but the outcome is healing. We have to love ourselves. This is the movement we're building. A sovereign, solid love for ourselves so that we can share it with our children and the community that we come from. And beyond that, the culture we come from. It has all the answers. I'm living it. I'm living it. We'll see you next week. Tasukamati, ometeo, tonansin, tonatu.